watching, just as everybody was trickling in, is what's going to be the new hospital clinic here at Solid Rock International. And so, as you know, Solid Rock International is a nonprofit organization that is really vested in this small community. So some of the projects they have include clean water, nutrition.
Yes, and I told you on this YouTube.
Lots of other great things going on that they're a part of. But part of what they're doing is they're building a new hospital and clinic. And where, did everybody sign in? Pass that around. You'll see our guest house is located next to the current clinic, and it's pretty bare bones. And so this is pretty exciting. It's a project that's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's taken quite a bit of time to get it going. We will be having a construction team each day that gets to go out on some of the projects. You won't actually be working on the hospital clinic itself, but you'll be working on some of the side projects around the clinic. So every day we're going to ask for volunteers to go out to do construction. And we would encourage each of you to at least take 1 day of construction. So for construction, you want to wear jeans, you want to wear closed-toed shoes, tennis shoes are fine, but it's really a fun way to be a part of something that's going to be lasting there for a long time. So think about doing construction 1 day. We'll have a sign-up sheet that we'll pass around where you'll get to sign up for one of those construction days. But if you want to do more than that, you can. It's up to you. So today we wanted to cover just any last-minute questions that you guys might have. We are videotaping this today for the benefit of the folks in St. George. So we might ask you to restate your questions, but let's do that. And then we're going to go into the Days for Girls training piece of this as well. So let's talk about questions. What questions have you guys got? No questions. Everybody's ready to go? Everybody excited? Yeah. Once finals are done, we're going to hit the road. It's a pretty exciting time, so good. So donation suitcases, those of you who dropped off suitcases, your suitcases are packed upstairs, ready to go, okay? Everybody's expected to have a donation suitcase. If you personally do not have a suitcase, let me know. I'm going to go buy some today from a thrift store, or you can bring in a suitcase and we'll stockpile it. We have a ton of donations upstairs that still need to be put into suitcases. Does that make sense? So you're responsible. Every single person's bringing a checked bag that you pay to check. It's about $30 to check a bag of donations, if that makes sense. When we get to the airport, I'll be giving you a letter that we've actually had to have notarized to go into each and every one of your suitcases. So when we get to the airport, we're not going to check in individually, we'll check in as a group, and you'll get 2 letters from me, one for your carry-on bag and one for your checked bag that's notarized that says these are donations, they're not going to be for resale, things like that. So they hopefully don't disappear at customs, if that makes sense. Okay, questions on the bags, how that's going to work?
So in addition to that, we still have our normal checked luggage as well, right? So like normally for those flights we get the carry-on and then 2 checked? Or is it just carry-on?
Yeah, you just get a carry-on. So you have a carry-on and then you'll be checking 1 bag that will hopefully have donations in it. And then I would recommend you take a backpack or something like that. Okay, yeah.
How do I find I'm traveling down in the shuttle? And you said we all check in together?
Yep, just meet at the American ticket desk. We will be just in front of the American ticket desk, okay?
What time do we need to be there?
8:30. No later than 8:30, okay? We are going to, because it's a long process to get 30 of us through those kiosks. What we'll be doing for your boarding passes is you scan your passport. So make sure you bring your passport. Always remember, keep your passport with you at all times. You scan your passport and then they'll give you your boarding pass. Then you'll go up and check your baggage, and that's where you pay for your checked bag. Okay? Questions about how that works? But we want to make sure that we all meet together, so if somebody's checked bag is only 45 pounds, and somebody's bag is 55 pounds, if the limit is 50, that person that's got 5 pounds extra can put it in the person's bag that's only 45 pounds. okay? So we get all of our donations there, if that makes sense. So it's a little chaotic checking in, but it'll be fine. Then we'll all go up to the gates. You'll have some free time before we actually board the plane. We do go to Philadelphia. It's about a 4-hour flight to Philadelphia. We don't have much time in Philadelphia. And if our flight is delayed, I think we've got less than an hour to get to our gate. So you'll have a chance, it'll be 6:40 in the morning when we get to Philadelphia. You'll get a chance, if you need food, grab food very, very quickly. We'll probably be rushing to the gate depending on how close the gates are. Hop on the next flight to Santo Domingo, and that's a 4-hour flight as well. So food preparation is really important unless you want to spend a lot of money in the airport for food. So we'll talk a little bit about food. Bring snacks with you. I also bring snacks with me to eat in the Dominican Republic. There will be an abundance of fresh fruit at every meal. There'll be plenty of food. But for our packed lunches, every day you pack your lunch to go either off to construction or to the clinic. And what they provide for you is typically peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwiches, and I'm not quite sure what kind of ham it looks like, but I never eat it. Some of you guys might eat it. And packaged peanut butter crackers and sometimes cookies. So it's not much of a lunch, and it's certainly not, who's a nutrition major in here? Certainly not the healthiest lunch for you. So if you have food issues, you may want to bring your own food to supplement your lunch. I typically bring like packets of tuna fish, packages of almonds, and things like that to kind of supplement my lunch or eat healthier at lunchtime. So you're totally welcome to do that. Bring snacks if you want for evening time, things like that. Okay? Questions about food preparation? How about bug repellent? Has everybody got their bug repellent? Bug repellent is so important that you've got really good bug repellent that you're using as soon as we get down there. Really super important for you. Other packing questions of what to wear? Has everybody got a scrub top? So make sure that you've got a Rural Health Scholar scrub top, at least one of those. There are scrubs down there. They have old scrubs that people have left. And so if you don't have scrubs, don't go waste a whole bunch of money on scrub tops and scrub bottoms. They'll have some down there if you don't care what you're looking like, I guess. And so you can use theirs. And remember that they will have someone doing laundry for us every day, so you really only need to have 2 complete sets of scrubs because you can alternate those, and then one day you'll have construction clothes on. Okay. Other questions about packing and stuff? I want to introduce you all to Jake. Jake is brand new to our group. We have one of our students who had to relinquish a spot because of health concerns, and so Jake was able to pick up on that spot. We're pretty excited that he's joining us. He was able to get all this stuff together in the last couple of days and hop on the trip. So, yeah, very good. Who has done the Days for Girls training? Excellent. What did you learn about Days for Girls? Those of you who've done the training.
It's a worldwide, endeavor to be able to allow girls to get the supplies they need.
Okay. So regardless of whether you are male or female, you still get to participate in this project, okay? And for those of you who are male, I think doing this project is a real wow on your application for grad school to show that you understand this issue. Everybody's expected to do the training, and I'm going to walk you through where the training is located on the Days for Girls webpage, so you can do it. If you just go to daysforgirls.org and you go down to, let's see, training. Education and trainings. Actually, if you just plug in Days for Girls training, you'll get there. And you're just doing AWH 101 online free, okay? So you need to do that before we leave because we won't have Wi-Fi very accessible, okay? So who wants to come up and demonstrate? Those of you who've done the trainings. Volunteers? I'm going to pick somebody. Come on, sir. You can come up. Who else has done it? saw your hand up.
Yeah.
So, every clinic day, I'm going to give this to you guys. Every clinic day, you guys are going to have small groups of young women that you're going to identify, and you're going to get them together in a group. So, every day at clinic, we'll have a couple of you that are going to be assigned to the Days for Girls project. We're actually bringing 200 kits with us. And we've already got those kits. We picked them up in St. George, and one of the St. George students is packing those for us. So you'll be going through this training with the young women. So we're going to let you guys try to figure out your way through this training. Is that okay?
Sure, why not?
And then we'll have.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yes, I do.
Good, 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 good. So you can be the one that has a good accent as we read those things. Now remember, it's okay for guys because they're used to having guys that are doctors talk about this stuff. So think about it from that point of view. Don't think that you're weirded out by talking about this stuff, because as a physician, you're going to have to talk about some of this stuff. So we have this really cool flip chart that actually has it in English and Spanish. So if you are doing this with someone who does not speak Spanish, I always recommend that you get a volunteer from the group of girls who can read. Remember, a lot of the young women that you'll be talking to don't even read Spanish, unfortunately. But find someone and you can say, how would you say, is there a volunteer who could read Spanish?
Hay un voluntario que puede leer en español.
Excellent. And so we'll get a volunteer from the group who comes up, and if nobody's around to even say that, we'll figure that out, okay? Okay, you think you can wing it?
Yeah, in English, right?
No,
Oh, you want me to
Spanish.
do this in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. Like, so that was one of my questions that I did have, because I just did this yesterday.
Yep.
But, like, are we just going to be reading through this? I mean, I know it says, like, in the training that you can just, like, kind of talk to them and see if they have questions and
Yes.
stuff. But generally, are we just pretty much going to be
Generally,
reading
you
this
start
through?
with that. You
Okay.
start with
And then
that.
if they have, like, questions or
Then
whatever.
if they have questions, and you will have the kits there to demonstrate with. So somebody will be holding the flip chart. You could even get a volunteer student or a volunteer patient. Somebody will be reading, and then somebody is holding a kit. And I apologize, I was going to bring a kit this morning and I did not. But somebody
Yeah,
would actually
I'll
demonstrate.
do it.
You'll do
I'll
it.
pretend to.
Okay. Okay.
Ok, bueno, entonces, bienvenidos a todos. Las mujeres en promedio menstruan 3,000 días en su vida y es algo muy importante y que vamos a hablar cómo ustedes pueden hacer estas cosas. Okay. La pubertad, la transformación umbrosa. ¿Cuáles son los 7 cambios que suceden en las niñas durante la pubertad? ¿Cuál es la causa del cambio? Entonces esas son preguntas que podemos contestar para ustedes. Gracias por escuchar. Bueno, como las hermosas femeninas pubertad en la postmedia. Entonces esa es una grafa que habla un poco sobre los años en que las mujeres como pueden prepararse para como dar hijos. Bueno,
Is it, do you need to, oh, got it.
entonces eso es un poco de la anatomía de una mujer que podemos hablar, también un poco de los procesos importantes de prepararse como cuando seres jóvenes que pueden prepararse para tener hijos. Entonces aquí es como un poco más de la anatomía, el útero, las rocas de falopio, los ovarios, la cervix y la vagina, que nosotros podemos hablar de partes importantes del cuerpo de la mujer. Entonces esa es una imagen un poco del periodo de menstruación que las mujeres tienen como durante más o menos un mes. Eso es el ciclo todo del periodo de menstruación. Entonces esa es la primera fase que se llama la menstruación, que es el primer 7 días de este periodo. Y la segunda fase, que es la fase folicular, ahí está. Muy bien. Entonces, esos son los días de 8 hasta 13. El cuerpo envía hormonas que manda a los ovarios para liberar el óvulo. Las hormonas hacen que las paredes del útero se engorden y la pared uterina desarrolla tejidos suaves. Si el óvulo es fertilizado, el óvulo se implanta y va creciendo hasta convertirse en un feto.
Are you guys following? Who speaks Spanish? A few of you. Are you following what's going on here?
Yeah.
What he's sharing for the most part? It's interesting. One of the comments that we've had from a mother that was in this presentation was, after we went through this, she said, "You mean had I planned this, I wouldn't have had to have 8 children?"
Oh,
So women have no idea about this. And so what we're presenting is sometimes very novel. We take it for granted. So, yeah, good job.
Yeah, thanks. Bueno, esa es la tercera fase, y la fase de ovulación, se dice. Y esos son los días 14 hasta 20. Y la ovulación ocurre cuando el óvulo sale del ovario a los tubos del falopio y al útero. Las paredes uterinas continúan engordándose y es más probable que la mujer quede embarazada en esta fase. Y aunque puede quedar embarazada en cualquier fase del ciclo, eso es lo más probable.
Okay, we're gonna move ahead to the slides where we're actually showing the Days for Girls kit, perhaps. So you can see what a picture of what the Days for Girls kits actually contain. And maybe, Sierra, would you explain what's in the kits for everybody who hasn't seen one?
These are, for everyone who hasn't seen them, they're washable pads, because a lot of girls in this area, they don't have access to disposable feminine hygiene products. And even if they do have access to them, it's a big problem with waste. Because there's not like a garbage truck that comes around once a week and picks up stuff, so they end up just causing a negative connotation towards girls, because the men are like, oh, it's so gross, they just leave their stuff everywhere, so this way they're able to use them and be able to go about their daily lives, and then also wash them and reuse them every day. And so there's these different liners that they can put in, so inside the pad here, and then they can wash those out every night. And there's actually, the bag serves as a way to actually wash them as well. So every part of this kit is meant to be very usable. It's not just, oh, like there's a cute bag. No, they can actually use those as backpacks. And these are made to be used for a very long time. I think that what's the lifespan on them? Like
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
depending,
years, yeah. 3 to 5 years. They also come with underwear, and as well as just some instructions on how to use them. But they're really, really important for girls in these areas, because sometimes girls won't be able to go to school, while they're on their period, which, some girls that's 7 to 8 days out of the month. Some girls it's less, some girls it's more, but that's a long time out of every month to be missing daily life just because you don't have the supplies that you need. So, and it's also, very eco-friendly, because they're able to just wash it where they would normally wash their regular clothes. And also the patterns help, to hide any discoloration that occurs over time. So everything in this kit is there for a purpose, and every part of this kit was thoughtfully planned out and refined over time to be best usable. It's for long-term use. As I said, the average lifespan is like 3 to 5 years.
So then we'll be going through the kit with the girls and talking to them about that, and talking about each piece, taking them out of the packets, showing them how to use it. We definitely want to make sure that they understand how to use this, so they're not, using it in a inappropriate way. So then there are a few slides like that. Then there are some slides in here that talk about, one of the things you'll find in this culture, you can flip to the slides that have to do with male involvement with men. One of the things, as I mentioned before, this country is a high sex trade country. And there's a lot of machismo attitude that goes on there. And so there are some slides in here that are geared towards protection of women and empowerment of women. that talk about saying no to men and violence with young women. Those tend to be better with older girls, and so we can use our discretion with those slides. We don't want to freak out little 10-year-old girls, you know, but if you have a group of particularly 15-year-old young women, that might be some appropriate slides to use with them. Does that make sense? So we'll use our discretion with those slides. We don't have to do those with younger girls, okay? Questions about how we're going to do the Days for Girls project? It's kind of cool. It's a very exciting thing that we're taking to them. So thank you guys. We appreciate you doing this. Let's see. So make sure you're doing the Days for Girls training. Those of you who are male, you may want to do the Men Who Know training up here if you want to feel a little more able to talk about these difficult subjects. But as I mentioned, I think for those of you who are male, having this on your application is kind of a wow experience to say that you're understanding of this issue. Some of the horror stories you'll see on these websites about what women do during their menstrual cycle is kind of scary. It's really sad. Most of them stay home during that time period. It's a difficult time for them. So, questions about Days for Girls? Anybody, who's helped prepare Days for Girls kits? It's a great project. The Community Engagement Center often has opportunities where you can sew. They also take donations of fabric and things like that. So if you know anybody from your hometowns that want to get involved in this, it's a great project. Okay. What else do we need to talk about this morning? Kind of your chance to ask any last minute questions. How about getting to the airport? Has everybody got rides planned to the airport? You can do that. Use the Facebook page. Yep.
So it says our ticket will pull up, we don't need to print off anything.
Nope. You don't have to print anything. We'll do it all right there at the airport.
So just meet there and go to Dominican Airlines.
By 8:30. By 8:30. Yep. If you're not there, I'm going to be on your phone. I'm going to be calling you, texting you, things like that. We also have, the only other form was not in your packet is a cell phone device policy that we have when we go on these trips. We do ask that you minimize your, and we talked about this before at one of our meetings, minimize your use of your devices. You know, you're all glued to your devices 24/7. This is really a chance to unplug. So we do ask that you're not on your device all the time, that you're engaging with other people. So for example, coming to breakfast with your cell phone and just sitting there on your cell phone during breakfast is probably not the most appropriate thing for you and probably not the best thing for you. We would be asking that you're engaging with other students, you're engaging with the translators that are there coming in for breakfast, things like that. So we do have a cell phone policy, a device policy that we'll get for you to sign, and I'll collect those from you. Just be cognizant about that. In the evenings, there is a time that you can connect with people back home, upload pictures, things like that to social media and things like that. But just live in the moment. Be mindful of where you are and enjoy getting to know different people and things like that. You will also have from the time we get to the airport till we get there, we'll have a binder of other information that you need to read. Sending it to you now is usually not productive because all of you are working on finals. So when we get to our traveling piece, there is a binder that will talk about the clinic procedures and how we run the rural barrio clinics, things like that. So you'll have a chance during our travel time to read through that and sign off that you've read everything. And it has to do with how we function when we're in the DR, how the clinics are run and things like that. We've just found that you guys are way too busy right now to read those things. It's just easier when you're a captive audience on a 8 to 12 hour flight time experience that you can read those. So we'll do that. So if you have questions about what those barrio clinics are going to look like, You'll read through that during our travel experience, okay? Other questions, expectations, what are you most worried about?
She said, talking about suitcases, when do you want suitcases so you can pack them?
Bring your suitcase tomorrow, or you can pick up some boxes and just take them home and put stuff in your suitcases. Yeah, we can, for those of you who have time, we can walk upstairs right now. If you want to take donations with you right now to your car, you can. I have 2 other suitcases that are packed that don't belong to people. I think I'll get some other suitcases today, but you can take boxes of donations with you today if you want to.
And all of our personal items we should just put in our carry-on.
Yeah, you could probably squeeze like toiletries. If you have over 3 ounces of liquids, it won't pass in your carry-on. So you'll want to put that in your checked bag, if that makes sense, and maybe throw a couple donations in your carry-on to equal out the weight. Other questions about what we're doing? And again, our itinerary is once we get to Santo Domingo, Solid Rock will be picking us up. Actually, it'll be Jeff, one of the Americans that will be with us, picking us up. We'll be traveling about an hour and a half to a guest house that we'll be staying at that first night in Santo Domingo. It's used for nonprofit groups that come in. There is a swimming pool there the first night, so it'll be nice. I don't know if any of you have been checking the weather. It's going to be about 85, 90 there, so it'll be really nice. In fact, hot. And so you will have access to a swimming pool that first evening. They'll feed us at the guest house. It's a pretty comfortable, safe environment, but you won't have the access to go out anywhere from there because it's located in sort of a residential area. Then the next morning we'll be getting up, they'll feed us again, we'll hop on the buses, and then we'll be traveling 3 hours to San Juan de la Maguana, where we'll be in our guest house for then the next 5 nights, 6 nights, something like that. That Sunday afternoon, as I mentioned, we'll be unpacking all the donations and sorting all of our donations and getting things ready for the clinic days. That's where we'll be figuring out, we'll be putting like acetaminophen, ibuprofen, vitamins into small little baggies that we'll be actually distributing to the patients. And so there's a lot of counting of pills that goes on there, and sorting of our donations. Then if you have a checked bag, that suitcase that you're actually leaving there, we'll be using that each day to take toys and things like that out to the individual clinics that we're doing, and the toys and individual donations will be distributed at the pharmacy, if that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
As far as things like souvenirs, like I know you mentioned, like there's a suit guy, Taylor,
Yeah.
who usually comes around. So should we bring cash, like American cash,
Yep.
or just have money on a
Yep,
card?
bring cash, no cards. Cards do not work over there. You will probably not see money ATMs, and I wouldn't use them if I were you. So bring cash. We recommend maybe a couple $100. It depends on how much you want to spend. On Monday night at the guest house, they'll bring in vendors. There's like a tailor who will come, and actually he made this black dress for me there. I took down a dress that I wanted a replica of, and he made this for me. He sewed it. And he makes suits, he makes shirts, he makes all kinds of stuff. If you have a picture of something you want, then he'll just show you what his little swatches of fabric are like, and he can make something for you. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
They'll do currency exchange also at the guest house.
Oh, they will do some currency exchange for you if you need it. The vendors that come Monday will usually take US dollars, but then the rest of the time, if you like walk for ice cream, you probably want to have Dominican pesos. I would not convert a lot of money into Dominican pesos because you will not have a chance to reconvert it to US dollars, okay? But you can spend it on Friday when we go to the tourist section back in Santo Domingo. You could spend it there. So, has anybody been to the Dominican Republic? Ah, hey, did you do a mission there, or what part?
Marijuana?
I have no idea what that is. Very cool.
Where is it?
I'm not sure where it is exactly. I don't know what it's called, but I'm not sure what part of the island it was.
So we fly into the south and we stay in the south. We do not see a single beach other than from the bus ride, I'm sorry. I know, that's kind of hard, no beach time. But the last night that we're there, we're in a fairly decent hotel that does have a swimming pool. You can go walking out that evening to kind of some of the tourist areas. You could walk to some beaches, but they're not the kind of beaches you would think of like laying out at. We stay away from the beach resorts because there's a lot of not good stuff going on in some of those beach resorts. You stay away from those. What other questions have you guys got?
I will say that we've seen a lot of students buy souvenirs that last day in Santo Domingo. So those of you who want to buy machetes and hammocks and other overpriced stuff, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, those are, yeah, the machetes and hammocks are kind of the big popular ones to buy. In addition to cheesy keychains and magnets and things like that, you'll find those in Santo Domingo on that last day. At the guest house, the souvenirs that you might purchase are from local vendors, like I mentioned. There's jewelry. There's a stone called Larimar that's a blue, kind of turquoisey stone that's only mined in a 10-mile radius of this area in the Dominican Republic. Makes really cool gifts for any women in your lives, mothers, sweethearts, things like that. So, and those range from $30 to $75 for a piece of jewelry that are usually set in silver. What else is there to buy at the guest house? There's a painter, there's a basket weaver that weaves some baskety things, some other local crafts people that come in and stuff. So, kind of fun. Okay, I don't have anything else this morning. If you guys want to come upstairs to check out getting donations or checking out what we have up there, or if you need to go study, feel free to go study. Have a good study day, have a good finals day. As I said, it's your responsibility to get to the airport. Make sure you've got that figured out. You can use the Facebook page if you want to carpool with people. And let me know if you have any questions. And we'll see you, if not before, next Friday by 8:30. Okay?
I'm flying.